Into Collection Time Only, brought to you by Sorare Data. I'm Andrew Laird. You can find me as Lairdinho on Sorare. Joined today by NepenetheZ and nobody else.
Actually, that's not true. Come here.
We went one. Oh, we have a third?
We've got a third.
There we go. Keith looks so different now.
It's Teddy. Say hi.
Hey, Teddy.
You're not going to say hi, are you? Terrible timing to come in right now.
Hello, everyone. Everyone's all fired up about the roadmap announcement, and I just told Nep, I was like, we're not going to talk about it today. It's not what we're here to talk about.
Not a word.
And he's like, good luck with that. You're going to try. As has been going for this whole week, I have no idea if this video will continue after we hit a minute. There's apparently some server issues, which is also why we had no music to start, which I don't know. It's just a downer. That music got me going. I even lowered the volume for everybody who last week was like, whoa, that's really loud. But I don't know. Anyway, Nep, are you ready to win $500,000?
I've been waiting for this moment my whole life.
Just to clear up everything, nobody can actually win $500,000. No one.
That's true.
You'd have to be an amazing multi-accounter to do it.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say it's impossible. Like if you have that kind of drive and questionable, standards, you do you. Just kidding. Anyway, so let's at least talk about that. The Premier League contest, it's basically cap 270 for Premier League, where you mostly need to have new cards. And Nep, what is the easiest way to maximize the power of your new cards?
Well, certainly having 5% collection bonus on multiple teams, because it's multiple entries. And so therefore, collections are the way forwards.
It's it's not like a cheat code, because obviously that's just part of the game. But I feel like because of the number, we're so used to these big competitions, or excuse me, these, big like regionals and all-star, they're just teams everywhere. And there's so many players and so many lineups you can do. But when you have a competition like this new Premier League one, I don't even remember what they called it already. Winter contest.
Season 1, isn't it?
Number 1. Yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody is going to go through the Premier League fixture list and be like, who's playing Luton every week? When you buy these collections. And I think there's going to be like a tremendous amount of lineup duplication. And if you have the same lineup as someone else, but your collection bonus is higher, guess who wins?
Yeah, collection and XP, isn't it? And it's like I mentioned to you just before we started, I'm actually annoyed with myself that I don't have any new season collections really, because I just was like, I've got old season collections. Well, what do I need new season collections for?
Right.
And yet now here we are. And I learned a harsh lesson when I first started collecting, making some mistakes. And this is harsh lesson number 2, because now I'm going to be fighting with everybody else to get, the whoever's at home to Luton during that game week collections. But there is also like a possible like strategy around using 3 teams in the multi-entry, like, Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea or whatever. Not that I'd probably use Chelsea. Yeah. Or using 1 team, but just covering all places and just having 3 of the same goalkeeper, knowing that 2 of them will have less percentage, and just having, imagine like Alisson, Van Dijk, Trent in 1 team, then Alisson, Van Dijk, Matip in the other team, then like Alisson, Robertson, Trent in the other team, and just covering all bases. It's going to be great.
I think that we're going to see some really fun strategies that people take. And I think there are going to be a few that are actually really bad strategies that happen to work out, and people think that they're good. And because that's something that we see a lot in DFS, that there are people who you can succeed with your, you just need your 1% chance to hit once to make you think that it's actually the 99%.
Yeah.
And so I think we are going to see that of people be like, no. Instead of stacking against Luton, I'm just going to run a Luton stack all week. Oh, the whole competition. And I'm surely that'll work, and they won't. But yeah, we'll see a lot of like lineup differentiation. It'll be key to like finding differentials of people, cards that maybe some people are overlooking, and being different, because that's how you're going to have to beat all of these people over the course of the whole competition. It was longer too than I was expecting. Like, I kind of assumed it was going to be like just the 6 games around the Christmas period that they always jam in there, but it's a nice long one here.
Yeah, it is. It also maybe gives a little bit more credit to captain and a goalkeeper to be different.
I can see that.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, because nobody's stupid enough to do that.
Exactly. So if you're the one that does, and then Allison rips off a penalty save and some other man saves, you're winning.
Right, he scores the winning header at the end of the game.
Yeah. See, I should have. In fact, in my Cap 270 this week, I captained Haney Mukhtar because obviously he was going to have a great time against. Who did they even play?
Orlando.
That's how bad they are. Orlando, yeah. And he did bad. And then I didn't captain Providel, and he did great. So
for that long line of research and data, you blew it.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
So yeah, there were. I think the key that I came to for myself was this new competition. Obviously, there are no card rewards; it's all cash. And one of the big things that people were talking about in terms of Sorare sustainability is making new season cards more valuable, and this does it. And the ability now to just, certainly from the limited perspective, you could probably build a collection thanks to the instant buys very quickly. And if you the competition starts in, is it 2.5 weeks or so?
Yeah.
If you buy them now, those cards could be on level 3, 4 by the time the competition starts, instead of buying them the game week, the week leading up to that, and they're all starting at level 0 plus whatever collection you get. I think, I assume we're going to see some Premier League front card prices just boom right now.
So does Sorare dynamically change the card price of the buy nows based on what's selling?
It seems like it. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it does seem that way.
Yeah. It's this, they're the, how do I feel? I also like the fact that with multiple lineups, especially at probably rare and super rare level, people that are going to be putting 15 cards into a tournament that doesn't earn cards means that they can't put those cards into a tournament that does earn cards. And so when Charlie says, how do I feel about not being able to use my last year's Arsenal collection? Great. Because my last year's Arsenal collection is about to become a powerhouse in Champion Europe.
Yeah, because you're effectively not, you're not competing against nearly as many new season cards as you were. Yeah. I think it's quite interesting. Just trying to look at the instant buy here. Do they have can we go by there it is.
None left. There's just an empty page.
They're all gone. Oh, look at that, Haaland right away. Let me just buy that one right now.
You can as well. You got the funds. You got the facilities for that.
I do, and then I'm empty. Madison looks cheap too. I have no idea what these cards go for. Obviously, the floors are higher than this, but
is there a general 10%, 15%, 20%?
I think I thought it was somewhere between 15 and 20 that we've seen. But the difficulty is I think that I don't know, because I literally have not looked enough into it, but I believe they compare it to other new season cards. So there could be older season cards that are even cheaper.
Yeah.
That you can potentially get.
If they're comparing it to old new season cards on the secondary market, I don't think 15 to 20% is too bad, because you see people pay way over the odds to get auctioned cards to have them first owned. So I don't think it's super unreasonable. What it does do though is it does remove that ability to get that late night auction that comes in at 40% cheaper.
They're still there. They just So for dollar wise, this one is $251, and there are 3 of them on the market right now for way less, and an auction that has 14 hours to go.
Yeah, again about 18, maybe 18%. I don't think that's terrible if you're not spending it on players like Haaland. If you're getting a $10 card for $12.50 instead.
Yeah,
I think that's not too bad. My strategy, again, when we talk about building collections, my strategy would be buying as cheap as you can secondhand the star cards, and then getting all the crap off the auction house or off the instant buy market to build up the collection.
I mean, you could just straight up buy a 5% collection right now.
Yeah, but I wouldn't buy Haaland off of here.
Right, you buy Moreno and Gomez.
Well, I bought Moreno about 2 years ago for like $3,000. So I think I'm just owed a Moreno. To be fair, like
I do like that strategy though, of like essentially snap buying the cards that you won't use, the cheap ones, and then you can probably wait for the others.
Yeah, and man, remember when that guy complained about getting Rodrigo for first place, and he's like one of the best players on the whole platform.
He won. He won a contest the following weekend with Rodrigo.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it was 2 weeks later. I don't know, something. It was fairly quick.
So he was drying his own tears with his own Sorare money, was he? Yeah.
Exactly. For sure. I'm sure that somebody will do the work for us in terms of like who has the most promising schedules over the whole course of the whole competition. Although I don't think the optimal play is just to play one team throughout. Like it's not. I think you're going to have to go in and out, particularly with the 3. I was wondering how many people were going to be up in arms that 2 Brighton matches are not going to count, because that is a fairly popular. I feel like every time people are like, who are some undervalued? And it's like Brighton. Everyone on Brighton is undervalued. But
I think so we can have one old season card.
For limited, you can have 1 old season card, and rare, you can have 2.
Oh.
And super rare.
Oh, that's not too bad. Okay, that actually kind of makes my Arsenal players a little bit more powerful, because I can have the old season like goal. I actually don't even have a goalkeeper because Ramsdale sits on the bench now. But yeah, you can have 2.
Yeah, somebody mentioned that limited Prem goalkeepers, even for old season, are going to rise, because you could always just use the old season card as your one non-new season card.
Can you click on the breakdown? I think maybe I saw it on Twitter. Can we see the breakdown of the cash rewards? I think it's a bit further down if you scroll down. Now for limited now.
So sorry.
Top 800.
This is
$8 each week. Yeah,
each week.
But it doesn't count midweeks, right? It's just the weekend game weeks.
Correct.
Yeah. How many people do you think will enter?
So we have, I can tell you how many can do it now. Thanks to, where is this? Some internal Sorare data.
Oh, my name is not on that list. I have 0 Premier League limiteds that are eligible for that.
Yeah. So the problem is that a lot of it is just essentially broken down by who has the most cards. So like Satonio, who is like a bot that buys limited card, like every limited card, has the most, like could theoretically enter like right away with 3. So let me see.
Oh yeah, that's going to be interesting. The multi-entry.
Yeah, I have no idea is the answer.
Yeah.
Like realistically, because this does kind of feel like something that would get people who don't currently have Premier League cards to go buy them.
Yeah.
And so.
And when you look at those prizes as well, like at that low end, even for limited, it's not great. You know, $8, $10 or $15 isn't great, especially if you're going to go and now spend $50, $100 on buying some cards. But if you even could get one team in sort of top 30, it could be huge for those people.
Yeah.
Yes, it's interesting. I'm now sitting here thinking like I said to you the other day, I think Liverpool are massively underpriced at the moment. Like, do I go and get a 5% Liverpool limited collection, or do I just ignore limited? You know, when I look at my manager's watch list and I see Channy and Haber, and then next to their limited is just a big fat 0. I'm like, they just don't even play limiteds, and I don't even like. It's that FOMO. I'm like, I've got all these limited cards, I should play them. I can't be bothered. I don't want to sell them because they're worthless, and I'll be taking a massive haircut just on what I've spent on them. And so it's that dream of like, okay, eventually they'll be worth something, so I'll just hold on to them. But I also just don't care about limiteds.
Mm-hmm.
So do we go in for a Liverpool Premier League 2023 collection like Keith?
So speaking of Keith,
Yeah,
Yeah.
home
Speaking of
cards.
Keith, so Keith is the reason we were going to have this conversation today, which is funny that he's not here, but we're going to talk about him behind his back. But Keith, is this the collection here? Yeah. So Keith started a 2022 Liverpool collection. And as we know, the Liverpool collection for 2022 is a little strange because it includes the launch edition cards and the like these 2022, the non-launch edition ones, because Liverpool were actually, which whatever. So he had these cards and he bought Salah and he was like, I'm all excited. And then he used some of these cards to win this Salah. And he was like, well, shit. Do I sell my old cards to buy the new ones? And as anyone can see, this degenerate has gone out and bought 4 of the special edition away jersey Liverpool cards, including jersey mints of Curtis Jones and Diogo Jota, which we talked internally is like a cheat code when it comes to collections because they're literally worth 80 points and 90 after 30 days. And so, Nep, do you think he should sell? And obviously, this becomes much more complicated now that new season cards are much more valuable. But is the play to sell basically these 4 or try to turn Allison, Tsimikas, Robertson, and Salah 2022s into 2023s?
Yeah, now I had a completely different response, an hour ago before this information dropped. But no, I also didn't either pay attention or realize that they are also special cards. And first of all, that's mad that he's going to be able to get onto like 5% with about 8 cards.
Yes.
And second of all, I definitely would just be trying to find somebody who's got the new season, specifically away cards, drop them a little, $20-$30 on top and switch them out. Yeah. Or just buy both.
Or just buy both.
Yeah.
I'm laughing because I said the same thing.
But you know why both is smart? Because he can have the new season cards with 2 old season cards in one lineup. And then the second one, and there you go. You can run 3 Liverpool lineups using the same players.
I do. So that's I think another strategy that I don't think anyone would actually do. But what if you just ran the same lineup 3 times?
Yeah.
Like you go in and if they win, and you can win first, second, and third.
Yeah. Yeah. So who's at home to Luton during this week?
Yeah. Let's see. Pinsky's literally the only player I know on this team.
Oh, that's one more than me.
So it starts, I assume it's, does anyone know what game week it actually starts?
It's 2-7, I think. Arsenal are in there. That is brilliant.
What was it you said?
4-2-7. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Palace away to Luton, Brentford home, Arsenal away, Man City away. These are meaning away to Luton. Jeez. Bournemouth home. There's a Bournemouth stack. 433 wins it. Home against
Luton.
Away to Newcastle. Sorry, Newcastle away. Sheffield United home and Chelsea. 437 was the last one.
What does it say?
Match day 22. That doesn't help me at all.
Up to January the 21st.
Including January 31st. So that's, I think it's this one, 441.
That is a lot of games. That's a lot of game weeks, isn't it?
It's a lot. It's a long competition. Like truly long.
Yeah. I like it. The fact that they've got Arsenal in there.
We're focusing on Luton, even though Sheffield United are definitely worse.
Yeah.
That's fair. I didn't know this person existed on Earth.
Fotheringham.
Fotheringham.
Yeah, I have him on the, I don't know if we're allowed to say it on this show, on Ultimate Champions. Yeah.
For what? From who?
From Sheffield when they were in the Championship last season.
I didn't know they had Sheffield. Interesting. I would not guess that this is like the most generic English name I've ever seen. Anyway. So Liverpool, is that Liverpool getting both of them? I don't know why we don't just look at Liverpool.
Yeah.
All right. What do you got? So it starts off Liverpool at Man City. Seems bad.
That's an interesting one, yeah.
But then they've got Fulham. This is skipped because it's a midweek. So
No, is it? Oh, so the midweek games don't count.
I think it's just weekends.
But it doesn't say that those games. It says that these games don't count because it falls outside of game weeks.
Yeah, this competition runs every weekend.
It says every weekend the Premier League has fixtures, but I assume that it won't be a split game week in terms of real week. I assume it'll be like a Friday to Friday. So will there be a double game week for Liverpool?
I don't know. But you're right, they're not it's not listed here. I mean, they're using like match days, which is what the Premier League uses, so I don't know. 11 game weeks, so it wouldn't be 11 without the midweeks. Yeah, this is, oh man. Like 11 game weeks is what it says, and then it wouldn't be 11 without it.
So maybe they're using the midweeks as a game week themselves. The Newcastle one that cancelled is a double. Okay, so there's no double game weeks, but there are midweek games, but as a game week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me find out.
Because obviously during the Premier League, like, you know, the kind of like winter schedule, there's a lot of midweek games and like you know, Monday games and whatnot as well. So I'd be very surprised if they omitted the midweeks.
Yeah.
Games on 5th to 7th December have to be included to make the 11 game weeks. Boxing Day schedule is midweek. Yeah, so midweeks will count. And that's why they've called it game week 1 through 11 rather than
you mean
4 to 7 or whatever.
Match day.
Match day. Yeah, beg your pardon. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got Man City. This is for Liverpool. Man City, which obviously means Man City starts with Liverpool. Fulham, Sheffield United, Crystal Palace, Man United, Arsenal, Burnley, Newcastle, Bournemouth.
And does it include that Chelsea game as well? Did it say up to the 31st of January?
Yes, and Chelsea.
Yeah, so the Chelsea game as well, yeah. Liverpool haven't got the easiest schedule. They've got some nice games in there, but yeah, definitely not the easiest.
It includes the games you don't want them to have.
Yeah. Yeah, like Arsenal.
Yeah.
And that's where, if you have multiple stacks, what the smartest thing to do would be is to put one team of, like, let's say Liverpool versus City, put a Liverpool stack in and a City stack in as your duplicate, your secondary lineup. And then no matter what happens, you're bagging points.
In that match, though? Like if it's just 1-1?
Yeah, if it's 1-1, that means you've got a decisive somewhere. You might have a negative decisive as an own goal. But yeah, you can certainly make use of that. And if you don't think that's good, because that's the strategy I'm going to win with. And if nobody else is trying it, then I'll be the only one that wins.
Right. So you just have to go say all of these strategies. And for the one that everyone is like, no, that one's the worst one. That's the one you go with. Yeah.
That's the one you go in with. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair. So realistically, for this Keith issue, at what point is it not worth having the old season cards anymore?
I think because you only need 3 new season cards for this tournament specifically, it's worth having this. But I also think it's worth having this anyway, because, I mean, if you scroll down even just a little bit more, a little bit more, there we go. I mean, the price points of some of those players for rares, James Milner, $14, Fabinho, $22. And guess what? If, I know it may be a big if, but if Saudi starts getting scored in 6 months, you've made a profit on them. And then they are in the Asian Champions League games and things like that. Like, there's some utility there for a 5% Fabinho. I would say I genuinely would still buy into this collection.
Yeah. So I don't even mean so much for this month, or I don't even know what we're calling it. I'm going to keep calling it month long, but I know it's not. Winter competition, Premier League winter comp. Sure. Like, I think realistically, since most of us have a finite amount of resources,
Yeah.
that you're not realistically building 2 Liverpool rare collections. So what's the deciding factor to say, okay, I'm either going to continue my old one, meaning, or try to convert it all to the new one?
I think this Premier League Premier League season 1 has made that decision very, very simple for people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because you know, the more new season cards you have at 5% and get that XP farmed up, which you should use Academy for that double XP as much as you can whilst it's still there. Getting that farmed up and getting 5% on your cards it just will be a huge, huge benefit. If you can go in with like even 14% on these cards, almost no one will be able to compete with you. What's key? Like, he only just got those cards the other season.
Yeah, these are they're new.
Yeah, but with the new points system, the new XP system, I think if he just put them into Academy and forfeited rewards with them for the next few game weeks, which might not be the smartest thing to do, but if we're prioritizing this one competition, I mean, he's already got them up to level 2. Like
9% already.
Yeah, so he could easily have. What does he mean? Yeah, so once he gets the 2% collection bonus and another 2%, like he could easily have 13 or 14% on these cards. And so I would definitely be focusing on getting these cards. Even just from a regular standpoint of gameplay as well. Like it's huge the difference it makes having those percentages. Like anytime any of my massive like cards pop off, even if they get a really average base score of like 55 or 60, it pushes it up towards 70s, and you're like, okay, this was nice all of a sudden.
Yeah. I'm trying to see where, so this one, level 9, but only 5.5%.
Yeah.
I guess the real question is it ever, like, should you ever hold old ones?
So when we were going to talk about this, it depends on what you're building a collection for. If you're building a collection to win and to win prizes, to like recuperate that ROI or to build into another collection, I do still think there is I think if you've got 5%, like if you look at my Arsenal collection, even though I haven't got the season bonus anymore, I'm still on like 11 and 12% on almost all of the cards, which is huge. So it gives me good value. Like I think I mentioned this last week when we were chatting. Like once you get to level 20, the old season collection is the most valuable thing because you have the best XP. Nobody can beat you. The only people that can beat you is like the 5% collection bonus, the 5% season bonus, and then if they can get 6% growth before that new season comes in, which isn't easy because that's level 12. That's really difficult to get to.
That is hard, yeah.
So once you get to level 20, I think then the holding on to the old season is super valuable. And, you know, as we've looked at with some collections over the past few weeks, like that Barcelona collection, there's some really good pieces that have moved that are like really useful. And so if you want to win now, if you're looking at short-term gain, new season is definitely better to collect. But if you're looking at long-term, I still think new season is probably the best to collect and then just hold that.
Right.
But like if you're already into an old season, developing that season's collection, I don't think is a bad thing.
Yeah. No, the reason I hesitate is because I think the real answer is what you said before. Just do both.
Yeah, it is.
And obviously, resource-wise, that's a little, we have a show already called Spend More Money. We just call it Strategy Show. But that is like you said, from a gameplay perspective, like almost like your current gameplay, the new season cards are obviously the better ones if you can get a full collection, because they're the ones that can get over 10% fairly quickly. But at some point, like you said, when those lose, then all of a sudden it's like, all right, I'm done with these cards now because the new ones, another season has come out. They lose 5%. Oh, here are my 15% boys. all right,
Yeah.
bring them in, and
Yeah.
then you just, keep going.
Yeah.
I think unfortunately, I think you're right.
Yeah, because the truth of the matter is that new season cards eventually are old season cards.
Right.
So like, and that's what I mean. Like, if you can get, it depends on how efficient you are as a player. Like, there's some people that are hyper efficient with buying and selling. You know, like a player goes up 30-40%, doesn't matter what they can do SO5 wise, they'll just sell them, they'll buy them back if they come down, or they'll just reinvest that elsewhere. And then you've got players like me that will just buy something and it just sits in the gallery forever and aren't very efficient. But I think if you have the time to dedicate to, and this is kind of like something that benefits collectors that have smaller galleries and smaller budgets, is if you can micromanage one collection and you can buy in now into like a 2023 Premier League stack, win some rewards, like, you know, whatever through this tournament or whatever it may be, sell off some pieces along the way as you gain like the 90-day bonus and keep that 5% there, but sell off some pieces back, and then be prepared next season and say like, okay, I invested whatever, like $300. I've made back $160. I now sell this for $200. I'm in a net profit for the season. Now let me start buying into the new season. Right. If you can micromanage like that, if you've got that time and that ability, but you don't have the resources financially, I think you could do really, really well from constantly churning new seasons. It's just easier to buy it all and store it, isn't it?
Of course.
Yeah. I'm a little bit like Sean. I'm just buy more. Just buy everything.
Just buy more, yeah.
If everybody did buy everything, we would all be so rich.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
Like, people don't get it.
They don't.
Somebody tweeted that the other day. There was like, enough with all the complaining. Just do what's best for the community. Jam some more money in, and we'll all be rich.
Oh, it's true. It's true.
Do you think that there is a reasonable expectation that this is something that they will continue to do? And if so, do you think they keep it in the Premier League?
I think this is a great test for it. What I think that they're going to showcase with this, which is where I thought Sorare would go about a year ago before we had some of the big changes, is I think that if this is a success, and so please everybody go and buy loads of cards and put in loads of teams, because it will be better for everyone genuinely, not hyperbole. But if this is a success, they can go to whoever it may be, McDonald's or Coke or Pepsi, and say, look at our test case where we gave up $500,000. This is what we made from it. This is the engagement we got from it. This is the amount of eyes we got on this particular piece of content for it. Sponsor it. And we'll call it the Coca-Cola tournament next time. And that's how I think that they can generate a mass amount of revenue for themselves using other people's money as... Yeah, well, there you go. So, and just imagine season 2 is sponsored by like Sorare Data. And Sorare Data put up like $500,000.
That's it?
Yeah. And then Sorare Data gets infinite amount of influx because people are like, wait, what's this Sorare Data tournament? Let me go and sign up to them. Sorare Data makes millions. Sorare makes millions. Honestly, we will be
The recipe is right in front of us.
It really is.
Roberto says, love the collection part. Thanks to Nep. 5% got me my first top 30 in All-Star just recently, and I just have a small gallery and keep going with new collections and try to snowball it. That's
Good
it.
job.
It's the
this is the thing. And I try, like, I didn't try. I waxed lyrical about this, about when they introduced the collections around however long ago it was now. I was like waxing lyrical about this. If you believe in the long-term prospects of Sorare, like the genuine long term, I'm not talking like 3 or 5 years, but like, you know, like when I was growing up and Betfair became a website that didn't exist before, and now here we are 20 years later and it still exists. If you think Sorare is still going to be here in 20 or 30 years, I genuinely think it's not hard to snowball from a really small amount to actually gaining that, like that great wealth, you know, that compound interest of what Sorare can offer. The compound value of what it offers is way better than hitting a 10,000 to 1 accumulator on the weekend where you've got £1 on it, because ultimately you're still a gambler at that point and you're just going to gamble that 10,000 away. You're probably not going to do anything like useful with it, maybe a holiday or some nice clothes, but seldom do people like take that 10,000 and just improve their general quality of life.
Yeah.
And I think Sorare offers that compound ability, and it all stems from collections. The more you've got, the better it works. And that's not me, like, it's not a joke in that side of things. It genuinely is true. The more collections you've got, the better it works.
I think fundamentally the game has always benefited those who have a lot of cards, but it always felt a little misguided is not the word, but it's the belief was always, if I have a lot of cards, I'll be fine. And I think now you do need a lot of cards, but the collections allow us to organize them in a way where we see the benefits of like, oh, wait, instead of this card, I have a similar one here from, oh, I have 4 other guys from this team. Let me get that card. And it's almost like it helps us. It gives us a path to card accumulation instead of just get more cards. And I think it's a huge benefit. Daniel said if I was given 10 grand, I'd just spend it on Sorare anyway. Way to be, Daniel.
Oh, I do sit there and think sometimes, what did I do the other day? I can't remember what I was doing. I was doing something for the tax man, and I was like, all this money we spent on, it was like garden products or something. I was like, I literally could have bought like a full, like, or not full, but like a proper like Arsenal super rare like team. I could have bought the whole thing. And instead we've got these just nice chairs outside. Like, really, like, what's more important here? Like, really, what is more important?
I mean, you're sitting down right now. You have enough chairs.
Exactly. Like, a chair is just a chair at the end of the day, but an NFT, now that's something that's, you know, I can't stake my chair each week, can I? And like try and win smaller chairs. Like, it just doesn't work like that. But
yeah. Who goes outside to sit down?
Yeah. Although my chair collection does have a good 5% bonus on it. So
I found that much funnier than it was.
It wasn't that funny.
So Josh said, I almost view my collection players as untradables now. I'm committed to max them out no matter if they go up or down in price. So I have that problem too. The benefit, so I have the problem of I don't want to sell my collection cards. The benefit I have is that I spent so much more than they're worth that I wouldn't sell them now at the tremendous loss anyway.
That is, I was looking at some bits. I won a reward because I'm really good at the game, but I won a reward like yesterday. And it's a goalkeeper that was tier 2 rare. And it was a goalkeeper. And he's worth like about £220, which is terrible. And the reason why he's not worth much is because he literally just rotates with the other goalkeeper all the time, like every other game. It's crazy. I tried to send it to Basilbot. He just rejected it. I'm like, this is a new season, tier 4, that's got a £205 bid on the auction card that's there. And he's just like, I don't want any part of this. But I was sitting there looking at other cards that I could send to Basilbot because I want to like improve certain areas of my gallery, especially in super rare. And I think some good super rares right now are a little bit undervalued. And if I could just get together another like £300 or £400 worth of cash, I can buy a really good super rare that really works for my gallery. And so I was looking through all my cards, and I was like, there's one card that I've got, David Neres, is about £140 or £150. And I know selling him is the right thing to do for me long term. But because I spent £2,500 on him, I just cannot. I will just, he is with me till retirement now, because realizing that loss is way more painful than making profit off of the little bit that he'll give me back.
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, no, I think that's one of the early lessons that Keith tried to instill in me, that the amount that you pay for cards should not matter. And right or wrong, it matters.
It does.
And so it'll be that day when I finally need somebody to be like, so this is how much you owe in tax. But if you sell this card, then I'll be like, okay, it's sold.
Yeah, you could get massive tax rebate if you just, well, if you have it as in Sorare through the business, it's like just as a held investment until you realize it profit or loss, no tax. Yeah. So it's great.
Josh said, I've got about 2K invested, and I'm now in mindset of compounding that. 300 withdrawn. I know a dirty word. I mean, it's not dirty. I just don't know what it means. But I'm in the same boat as Sorare. Josh, collections, there's a whole Josh party here. Collections are just long-term moneymakers. That's the hope, at least. They're definitely short and long-term money takers.
I also withdrew some ETH, not cash, but ETH. Let me see how much it was. I don't know if we're allowed to talk about other projects, but there's another project and I invested a little bit into that. And so
I mean, you spent.
I spent, yeah, I can't see how much I withdrew.
Was it Ultimate Champions?
No, it wasn't. No,
Oh.
it was
What else is there?
about £300-400 I withdrew. It's a Stocks FC.
Oh yeah.
A little bit footy index vibes, so I haven't put like staked too much into there, but it's an interesting concept. I really like it. So
Yeah, my biggest hesitation, not to start talking about Stocks FC, but my biggest hesitation was everything I've seen on Twitter is everyone's like, man, this is great. It's just like Football Index. And I was like, how did that turn out? Like,
yeah.
why are we trying to replicate this?
Yeah.
But I will say that that's a game that I wanted to play and I couldn't because I was in the States. And
okay.
That worked out for me in the long run. But
footy index, yeah. So like, I don't know if you ever heard my footy index story, not to go off too much on a tangent, but when footy index was like brand new, I've always been into like this kind of games, and like, you know, I like gambling, but I like strategy more than like luck, chance, whatever. And footy index looked a lot like that. And I'd invested maybe about £2,000 altogether in footy index, and it was like I bought players like Neymar when he was like 20 pence and 50 pence and stuff, and they were going. Apparently, they went up to like tens or hundreds of pounds, and they split and things like that. But like, lo and behold, like my account got banned, and I didn't log into Footy Index for months because I just forgot about it. It's one of those things, like I invested like, you know, a fair bit, bought all these cool cars, looked at it for a week or so, and then just never looked at it again. Yeah. And then when it started getting a bit more popularity, because a few content creators were promoting it on Twitter and things like that, I was like, oh, I've got a Footy Index account. Let me see how they're doing. Went back to the account, banned, right? So I've messaged the team, and they're saying, because I'm a person of influence and I can like influence how the market changes, I'm not allowed an account. And I tried to get like the money back, and they just refused. And like, again, one of those things in my head, I'm like, it was whatever. It's like gone, it's gone. Yeah. I didn't really fight it too hard because at the time I was going through something completely different. And then about 6 to 9 months later, the Footy Index disappeared. And then I started hearing stories from a lot of other people that had early adopter accounts that had lots of money available like in their accounts and lots of like stocks and stuff. And they all were getting banned because they knew it was a rug pull. So they were just getting banned left, right, and center for no good reason, just so that they couldn't withdraw their money.
Wow.
Yeah, how mad is that? And so I'd love to have known what my account was worth when it disappeared. It probably was significant, but wouldn't have been able to get it out anyway because it was just fake money, wasn't it? Yeah, it looked like a lot, but it was nothing. Yeah.
I don't even have a segue for that, but I saw some few people bring up the Cap 220, which is the new month-long competition. So we'll go there. Daniel Cooper says more of the story: buy more Sorare cards.
Yeah, absolutely. Which, funnily enough, though, my Footy Index experience was exactly why I was super hesitant when I first joined Sorare, because when I clicked on Sorare for the first time, Limited didn't exist, and it was just all of these like Korean cards that I didn't have a clue about, and I'm like, $300 for. I don't even know who this is. I don't even know who he plays for. And I messaged back to my management. I was like, this just looks like a scam. I'm not going anywhere near it. And that was it.
Yeah. Now you have a John Box stack. Collection, excuse me. Yeah. You love the K-League. Yeah. So 220 is now the month long.
Yeah.
And honestly, again, we kind of always looked at 220 as the place to play your non-best players from collections. You're just like, oh yeah, this guy starts. He's not that great. Low L15, throw him into 220. And it's just another place where the collections. Would you like to score 5% more than everyone else?
Yeah.
Get a collection.
Absolutely. I was talking to Josh Excels about the month-long or like long format competitions last night, because we were like, my Cap 270 right now, my super rare is doing all right, but the score this week, only 2 players have played, is already better than my 4th worst score from previous weeks. And I'm like, even if you have a bad week, it just doesn't matter. Whereas Eddie Nketiah is probably injured for Arsenal for tonight. He's not going to play, which means my All-Star Rare Pro is completely dead for the game week. And it's like, that hurts. But if a month-long score doesn't go well, it doesn't matter. I've got next week.
Next week,
yeah, next week. And if you are like, when they first announced month long, I was like, if you finish first, I think I finished like 5th or something in 270 a couple of weeks ago in rare. I obviously got nothing for it. And then I started thinking about I could have put that in All Star, and that would probably been like really good. And but if you finish first and get nothing, it is pain. But I've had generally mediocre scores across the board in all 3 scarcities that I'm playing in, and I'm still in rewards in all 3 scarcities that I'm playing in. And I'm like, we're only got 2 weeks left after this now, 2 game weeks left. And I'm like, this is mad. Like, it's easy to improve these scores, and because the rewards are like scaled up because it's a month-long tournament, even though I might have won more across a month, I don't actually think I would have done. So unless you're hitting those peak scores every week, in which case you probably have a gallery that allows you to play other tournaments where you're hitting peak scores as well, hitting mediocre scores is giving you good returns. And I think it's one of those things that I looked at as a negative when they first announced it, but I think should be a focus point of the future of the platform, is taking cards away without giving too much back for a prolonged period of time. Because again, it just encourages people to buy more, prices rise, we'll pyramid the scheme up, and boom. Yeah.
I am one of those people though that was like, I don't think I've entered a 270 lineup out of protest this entire time, because like I liked the weekly 270. Like it felt like another all-star to me. And I was like, I'm not going to waste my cards in this month-long thing. But I'm also someone who does not win something every week. So the idea of having to wait 8 weeks and possibly win 2 rewards is probably better than the 8 weeks that I go with 0 rewards. Yeah. And so I think I played it completely wrong. Like, I think I should have prioritized it. And I specifically went out of my way not to play it. And so there's probably a situation where there's an alternate universe where I played it and I win a tier 1 because I prioritized it, and I ended up getting 4 high scores. And realistically, you don't need 4 podium scores to get a good card. Like, I think that's what we all convinced ourselves of, to get something, to finish high up. Obviously you need 4 good scores, but like, you don't need 4 best scores.
Yeah.
And
if you go to my account now and look at my super rare month long, I don't even think 2 of them are over 300 points. Yeah, looking at 301, and that 183 is this week with 3 cards left. And okay, it's only a tier 5, but those scores otherwise don't get any rewards.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. And so I'm excited for Cap 220. Are they going to allow commons still? Because all of a sudden, the commons that I don't play the common divisions anymore anyway, because I couldn't be bothered to set the lineups. But all I'm going to do now is just go and keep interchanging for like the best low L15 common that is going to slam, and then put 4 rares around it.
Well, no,
4 limiteds around it. Sorry, yeah,
limiteds, yeah. So I think this past game week was the last game week that we could play, and Nep, I won a reward in Serie A Amateur.
Well done.
And by I won a reward, I mean somebody who may have set the lineup for me, who is 12 years old, won a reward. And but I said this on a show the other day, which I didn't know. And this is clearly one of those things that maybe because I'm too separated from it that I didn't know. But I did know that in the amateur competitions, if you have an L15 below 40, you still 40 is the minimum. But you get the true L15 if you play it in 220 limited. So I was like, all right. So I think 220 limited every week will include somebody with an L15 of 0. That's a cheat code, and people will use that as their common and then build around there.
Yeah. And then it might then also lead into limiteds having power spikes like they used to for the old specialist tournament, because now all of a sudden having that cheat code limited in your rare 220 makes a much bigger difference than it did before.
So I agree. I do feel like that was one situation where people were like, I have an L15 of 0, or somebody's really low, and they're like, I'll play that in 220. And we were all like, no. You play that in 240 or 270, wrap up your threshold, or get 270 where you could win the scarcity up. But now, and the reason is not because we thought 220 was a bad competition. It's that the prizes were bad. And like, you don't want to waste like a cheat card to maximum to in the best case situation, finish with a tier 2, whatever the scarcity is. But now, if you can get a star rare from cap 220 rare, just takes 8 weeks. Yeah. Now you play that 0 there for sure.
Yeah. And you buy another one and play it in 240 as well. And then buy another one and play it in 270 as well. And lo and behold,
and another one to play in super rare 220, or the next scarcity.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So there you go. You've got four use cases for this card. It's a wonder how this platform isn't sky high. Jesus Christ. There's just great reasons to buy cards all the time.
So on the subject of multi-entry, do you think you should be able to have multiple collections of the same team in the same year?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I have anyway, Erdegaard, and then I won Erdegaard.
The same thing with Salah. Yes.
But I won same season, right? So I've got 2 Erdegaards in the same season. That's right. I can't change his XP onto the one that I want, even though they both offer the same going into the pot, apart from the fact that one of them was first. No, but they both offer the same. That's weird. I remember messaging on Twitter about it, and I got a response of like, yeah, we'll look into this and see what we can do. And then nothing came.
I thought, and this is something that I completely admit I must have made up, because I remember looking back at it and it wasn't in the announcement, but it was always my belief that you could choose the cards in your collection.
Yeah.
And so when that happened to you, and I was like, oh, just choose the other one. And everyone's like, the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
And I was like, no, you can choose. But no.
But I think, I think if you have 2 of the, look, I think all cards in your collection should draw the same collection bonus. Even if they don't offer the same, they should draw it, because why wouldn't they? No, like, so if you have the exact same card twice, only one of them gets a collection bonus, and only one of them contributes to the collection bonus as well. But I think there should be double. But in terms of like what I think your question was about, like if you have like a 5% Liverpool stack now and a 5% Liverpool stack from last season, is it smart to play both? Is that what you was getting at?
No, I meant like, what if you could have 2 2023 Liverpool collections?
Yeah, I don't see why not. I don't see why not, because again, it all lends into one of Sorare's unspoken recent rules of buy cards and don't sell them. So give someone the benefit of that.
Charlie said collections should be way more sticker book, placing cards into a collection than it happening automatically. I do kind of like that too. Like, and I feel like they have done certain things that you have to do on Sorare and like puts you on the site. Manually putting cards in collections is the easiest thing to like force people to go do it. And it gives a benefit to those who are willing to do it. And for those who are too lazy, like Sean Newsham, and he's just like building collections because he wins rewards all the time, make him go in and do it. And he won't. And then we can all benefit from our hard work.
Yeah, that's it. You're playing the game. I think Rico Man says he's surprised they're changing the rewards in amateur, kickoff, and specialist. I believe it's because we're not going to be able to play those tournaments pretty soon, and it is the carrot on a stick, isn't it? They actually want people to win rewards that don't already have a big gallery, so that they could be enticed to buy cards to play the tournaments. So it makes perfect sense that they're offering better rewards in those tournaments.
Yeah, agreed totally. Josh XL said, slide the 3D once into those protective sleeves and then the plastic display case. Now we're talking. Let's microtransaction our way to profit here, guys. Server said you shouldn't get a second Salah collection bonus with cards from the first collection, though. You need to build an actual second collection. That's exactly what I was saying.
Yeah, I'm all about that.
Yeah, full second collection. Absolutely. Ricomon said it's less in amateur, but more in specialist. Yeah, you want to benefit those who have actually put money in.
Yeah.
Even if it's just for 1 card or 2, however the hell you need. Sorahan should be like an old school Panini football sticker book, indeed. I bet we get that at some point. Like something that looks like you could turn the page and all your cards are there. I think it's coming.
Yeah, I don't think it is. I'm actually surprised Sorare have the card design they have, because FIFA used to have that card design in FIFA 11, 12, and maybe 13 and 14. And then they were forced to change because Panini claimed copyright over the card shape and the card, like the card design. And so FIFA were literally forced to change the shape of their card.
Wow.
And so I'm surprised, maybe Sorare is just not big enough yet, but I'm surprised this specific design is like eligible.
Do you know why it's okay? Because they're a little thicker.
Ah, yeah. There you go.
And they're made of internet gold.
Yeah, there you go. But if they did put it into a like quote unquote sticker book or an album or something, I think they'd face legal dispute with that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Which is maybe why we don't have it already.
Yeah, maybe it's just a vault with like your gold bars of JPEGs.
Yeah, there's a lot they can do with collections, isn't there? I always not always, but every time I'm on Sorare, like yesterday, I started buying, and it's Keith's fault because I saw he was buying cards, and then I was like, let me go and see like a collection. I was building a team, and I've got Gutas, who used to play for Sivaspor, who now plays for Cardiff, and is doing really, really well there, like really well. And he's also got another guy from the Turkish league that went with him.
What's his name?
I started Gutas, Goutas, and his scores have been like brilliant, like way better than I thought. Like to the point now where I put him in priority lineups. Yeah, I know it's I know it's mad. And I was like, I don't have much percentage on him because why would I? He's like some rando guy that I bought one time because Sivaspor were kicking off the game week at 3 p.m. So their lineup came out at 2 p.m. So I went and bought a whole rare Sivaspor stack. And he was one of those players because I knew he was going to start. Put them all in cap 220 because they're shocking and 1-0. So now I've got like the goalkeeper that I paid like £80 for at the time, Yildirim. He's worth like £9 now, you know, like as a rare goalkeeper. But as I went and looked at their collection and I was like, okay, there's actually some. I bought a one-off because he was there for £10, right? And I'm like, I've only got, I think, about 4% or 5% on Gutas. So I'm like, let me get my 5% collection up. So I went and started buying loads of Sivaspor guys. And then after I finished, I'd only spent about £50. And I bought loads now. I should get up to 3% once 90 days kicks in. And I will find the rest and get it up to 5% now because I'm committed to it. But after I finished purchasing them, I was like, what a waste of money. Like I could have bought a genuinely good like tier 1 rare instead. And now I've got a collection of utter dross that no one cares about. But you can't say I'm not committed to collections.
Didn't Musa used to play for Leicester?
Yeah. I've got hopes that he like refines some form.
Gradle played for Bournemouth, right?
Yep. Yeah, Gradle's Premier League pedigree as well. Samu Saiz, I think, played in La Liga as well at one point.
So I think this is probably one of the dumbest things I've ever seen on Sorare.
Yeah, absolutely.
Respectfully, of course. But yeah, I think if anybody is like, are you really into collections? And you could just be like, you're really questioning me? Look at this. And then you have it. But yeah.
There you go. The worst one is Daegu, I think. Especially now that he's been injured for ages, and I'll still pick up the odd piece every now and then.
No, I think being able to boost like one of the best players on the platform is okay.
Yeah, but I mean, he hasn't played. He's got L15 of 0. That's not very good at all.
Ooh,
when Turkey Winter Challenge is it should be good, shouldn't it?
German's right about this.
Well, but here's the thing, right? So I have a rule, and I might change that rule right now, but not for him because he's too expensive. But my rule is a rare for a £5 is great if it's adding towards a collection. The special edition for £10, right? That's kind of like if I see one for less than £5, I'll generally pick it up. Although there were a few of this collection that were less than £5 and I didn't pick them up because they accepted ETH only and I have cash only. But I think there's 2 more one-offs and 1 jersey mint, and they're like £400, and it's like no one is buying that for that price for that collection. No one. Just lower it to a reasonable amount. Sucker me in. I'll get it. Right? Like,
right. I will overpay for this card. Yeah. I will.
But yeah, you just got to make it at least semi-reasonable for me. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get it. I'll be honest, I can't believe you even admitted that you have that.
But here's the thing, right? When one of them gets a favorable transfer or run a form, and I'm like, now's the greatest time to sell this, even though I won't sell it and I'll put it in a lineup instead, it will be a mental victory.
Yeah, you know
I'll be
that
like,
you won.
yes, yeah, right. I could have sold this for 7x profit and covered all of that tross that I paid for that's alongside him, but we're going to put him into a lineup, cap to 20-month long, and he's going to do great.
So the worst part of that whole process, though, is if you do sell that card, and then the next game week comes, whether you won something or not, that card is gone. And then you look back and you're like, so I have a collection now of 18 to 26 cards I will never use and I don't want. And we're benefiting a card that I don't own anymore.
No. I mean, one of the ones that I don't want now, like assume Gradle gets a favorable transfer, maybe goes to Spanish second division and just starts putting in 80s and 90s every game week. Really unlikely. It's really unlikely, but it's not impossible.
True.
And so while there's a realm of possibility there, I will continue buying $2 to $5 cards to boost collection scores on players that are in second division rare lineups.
Josh says this is Nep's attempt to make a bad idea from 12 months ago into a good idea. And that solution was buy more.
Yep. And it hasn't failed yet.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would say it just hasn't succeeded yet, but I'm more of a glass half full kind of guy anyway.
I don't know when there's this really cool website called Sorare, and when they start introducing data to show how much specific collection bonuses have earned you in terms of points and prizes, I'll be able to show everyone that I was right.
I'll have to check that site out.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Sorare. It's good. You should sign up.
I should sign up. Yeah.
Exclusive package.
Is there like a code NepenetheZ or something I have to use?
There actually is, yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, you got anything else?
Yeah. Well, so did you see that new manager thing? That's cool, isn't it?
I did not. Well, I saw it and I breezed through it.
You don't want to talk to me about it,
yeah, whatever. And
yeah,
there's a collection part of it.
I didn't see the collection part of it. I saw the scoring points, but it's on their blog.
Yeah.
And if they do introduce bonuses for collections, the fundamental thing is going to be, what can you spend those manager points on? That's all that's going to be important.
Why do they spell out the numbers?
Yeah. And then underneath, not 3 hundo.
3 hundo?
What are we 3 doing? Hundo.
What are we doing?
100, 200, but 3 hundo. Oh yeah.
I like that it says reached at least 100 and it says 40 manager points on the bottom.
That's because that's your reward, right? 100 points in the SO5, 100 points in SO5. You get it. So if you hit 100 in SO5, you get the 40 manager points as a reward. But again, it's like, what can you buy with the reward? Yeah, it should have been 250, shouldn't it?
Who knows? This is just a teaser, Nep.
Yeah, it is just a teaser. Although last time they showed images like this for the fitness thing and stuff, I got gas because I was like, this is going to be brilliant. It's going to be like an actual game. And then they scrapped that because they realized it was absolutely horseshit, even though I had managed to convince people that fitness could be a great thing for the site. And I'm not even being paid by them.
Yeah. I think the whole fitness thing was like, hey, how do we make more money? And they were like, hey, why don't we just make people buy new cards?
Yeah.
And like, oh yeah, let's do that first. Yeah.
Oh, 10% fitness bonus that decreases. What were they thinking, honestly? Thank God they didn't go through with it.
Yeah. Excuse me. That's all I have to. I'm like now choking, so I think we're done.
Yeah.
Thank you to everybody for joining us.
Choking.
What's that?
I said, yeah, good, but not that you're choking. I'm not happy that you're choking.
No, not that. Yeah. Right. It'll be Nep and Keith next week since I will be dying from choking right now. But anyway, thank you everybody for joining. If you could please like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Shout out to Quinny. I'm actually going to talk about liking and subscribing on Off Topic this week. It's Friday. Yeah, Friday. And I'm just going to say why Nep is wrong about liking and subscribing.
I'm not wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm open to it.
Yeah, that's fine. It actually has nothing to do with Nep. Well, it does a little bit, but it has nothing to do with YouTube. I'll say it that way. But anyway, thank you everybody for joining. We're expecting Keith back next week. We'll see. Don't I know everybody's gonna be like, man, that was such a great show, but don't go too crazy, because then Keith's like, man, I can't believe I missed it, and then he gets all bummed.
Put it in the comments that what an average show, the worst one so far.
Everyone comment about that.
Yeah,
just lots of comments, and we'll do that. But anyway, thank you everyone for joining, and good luck with your collections.